We see in the Parshat that Yosef, as soon as he interprets the dream, and he's correct, but we don't know he's correct yet, already suddenly Paro puts him on a chariot, parades him around all of Egypt, calls him Avrech, calls him Tzafnat Paneach. He's got all kinds of names, titles, he's wearing medals, whatever he's doing, it's all sudden and all immediate. And the question you could ask is, well, again, Paro doesn't know that these dreams are interpreted right. We don't even know if this is the right job for this guy. We don't know if he's right. We don't know anything about Yosef. As far as we know, he was a slave in prison for a crime, and now all of a sudden he's second in command, able to do anything he wants. There's no trial period. Those of you who've owned businesses or have been, employed as a worker, you don't all of a sudden get into a business and become the president or the vice president of finances. You don't get second in command, at the snap of a finger. So what's going on here? Paro recognized that Yosef had a big jump from nowhere, from below nowhere, literally in the dungeons of Egypt, to being somebody who can speak to the king. And Paro recognized something that we all recognize, that physics recognize, and that's something called inertia. Once something starts going, once there's a ball rolling, you can make it into a snowball. You can make it bigger and bigger. Once it starts, it gets bigger, and it gets bigger fast if you want it to. The same thing is true in our spiritual lives. A lot of people, you might have heard lately, have been talking about, how to spell Chanuka. Is it CH, is it H, is it two N's, two K's, AH at the end? How do you spell Chanuka? It doesn't really matter how you spell it. The more important thing is, what does it mean? The word Chanuka is a Hebrew word which means inauguration. Can you imagine? Some of us have watched the inauguration of our president just a little while ago, just in January, right? You remember that inauguration? You remember how much planning that took? It took months of planning. Everything had to be step by step. Everything had to be done just right. Can you imagine somebody being inaugurated and then not doing the job? Yes, that actually does happen. That's happened a lot. One president lasted 31 days after the inauguration. He got sick. Harrison got sick during his inauguration, was president for only 31 days. All that whole time with pneumonia, unable to do anything. We've had other presidents who've been president for longer and not able to do anything. That's a different story. But once somebody gets inaugurated, once there's a Chanuka, your job isn't to stop at Chanuka. Chanuka is just a springboard for the spirituality that you can acquire by doing more and more and more. For a lot of people, unfortunately, of Jews around the world, Chanuka is the most celebrated holiday. But that's where it ends. And then you wait till the next Chanuka to be Jewish again. That's not what Chanuka is supposed to be. Chanuka is your opportunity to get the ball rolling, to do more and more and more. How that works out for you personally, I can't tell you. Only you know what you could be doing better and what you could do more. There's a story told about the Reb Zusha. Just a quick story. He was confronted by a person who only wanted to do one particular mitzvah. It's a big mitzvah, learning Torah. But he didn't want to do any other kindnesses. He didn't want to help anybody. He didn't want to visit anybody. He didn't want to give tzedakah. He didn't want anything else to do. He just wanted to learn Torah. That's like somebody who just wants to celebrate Hanukkah and nothing else. So we're gonna transport that story from Torah to Chanuka. So all he has is Chanuka. So Rabbi Zusha said, I can tell you a story to explain how you're behaving. There was once a man who walked into shul wearing a very, very fine, beautiful fur coat. I know it's illegal in some countries now. But he walks in with a beautiful fur coat, and everybody's pinching it and touching it and commenting on it. What a great coat you've got. Very wealthy man, very exciting. So somebody sees him and gets jealous. Says, I want a coat like that too. So what am I going to do? He's going to save up a lot of money. He's going to scrimp. He's going to save. He's going to cut. He's going to not buy other things he needs. He's going to buy himself a coat just like that. So he does. And he walks into shul in this big, beautiful coat, and nobody says anything. He says, what gives? He had a beautiful coat. Everybody's commenting on it. I come in the same coat. Nobody's saying anything. He says, yeah, well, he came in. He's got fancy shoes, fancy clothes. He's got clothes underneath also. You're coming in your underhosen. You're coming in your underwear and a beautiful coat. What do you think people are going to say? You look like a clown. A beautiful coat on top of nothing is nothing. It's the same thing with us. Even if we have a beautiful Chanuka, unfortunately, it's just a beautiful coat on top of nothing if you have nothing else that you're going to build from there. If it doesn't become a Chanuka, if it's not a springboard for more, if it's not an inauguration for more, it's just an inauguration that leads to a 31-day presidency. That's not what we want. We don't want a Harrison presidency. We want to be effective. We want our inauguration to build us and get us closer to Hashem, closer to our community, and closer to our families. That's what Hanukkah is really about. Thank you very much.